So when Aaron Donald left and went to the Lions, his production value went down. His numbers dropped. Meanwhile, your entire D tackles and D tackles and your defensive ends, their value stayed level, which was high, or they got better. And you plugged in Curtis Garrett, and you also plugged in Patrick Falk. Their time to play. My question is this: with his value going down and those guys playing at a high level, is it scheme over player, the same thing that Bill Belichick does over there in New England?
Well, we don't want to compare ourselves to the great Bill Belichick. He has been known to do things, and it's always worked for him. Just back with Aaron Donald, I think with us, I think we just do a great job of coaching him up scheme. I think he's facing a lot of double teams over in Detroit. I think over here he had talent around him, Quinn, Brockers, Westbrook, where he could be singled up a lot. Also, we moved him around, so the numbers sometimes could be skewed. I think for us, with our D line coach, Coach Mack, I just think he's just relentless, and those guys bring that nasty attitude, lunch pail, let's get it hard hat, steel toe boots, weak hand in the dirt. We getting after it, nasty, dirty, the attitude that you got on the D line, and I think it's showing. But Donald, you know, I just think right now his production will jump. But I just think he's seeing a lot of double teams, and rightfully so. He's a great player. But we have great players here as well as great schemes. So I would say it goes hand in hand. To answer your question.
Now you got a great defensive front seven, which actually won you a Super Bowl this year, but it also takes the guys that cover behind that defensive line. And you got one of the best corners in the game with Lawrence Rice. Now let's talk about Lawrence Rice. 8 interceptions last year, ran 6 of them back. I'll repeat that.
The one in the Super Bowl.
8 interceptions and ran 6 back, and had a Super Bowl interception that actually turned that game around. And yet this guy wasn't mentioned as the best DB in the league the last year. What was the reason why you think people passed over him of being the best?
Honestly, I don't know. You gotta ask those people that do the voting and pick guys for all this, all that. I just know we put Rice. We call him LR. We put LR in a situation where he could be successful, and he proved week in and week out with the team's best receiver. That he was pretty much locked down. Whether it was coming up and tackling or playing zone or playing man, he was there. He's only going to get better. That was year 2 for him. See big things. He's constantly working on his game. And he didn't get the individual accolades, but I think if you ask him what meant more, was it the individual or the Super Bowl ring? I think he had to take the Super Bowl any day.
I mean, they dubbed him Mr. Pick Six. I think it's rightfully so. The big spread on him on ESPN, the magazine, and they talked about the next Deion Sanders is him, and he's prime time for real. Now, with all that being said, you guys following the trend of the 2000 or 1999-2000 Rams, but you also grabbed a familiar name in last year's draft, Marshall Faulk Jr., who actually took the starting job of Todd Gurley. Now, is it safe to say that he took the starting job, or you just running back by committee right now?
It's safe to say that Marshall Faulk is our starter. I want to say he took the job. He just gives our offense, minus Sammy Watkins, a different element in the run game. Todd is still a big part of our team. And honestly, it doesn't matter who starts between them. Between them two, they're like brothers. But Marshall gives us that home run threat that we can use at any given point. Gurley's still that bruiser that comes in and gets the tough yards for us. So just depending on the game plan will determine who starts that week. But yeah, Marshall's going to turn out to be a heck of a player, and as you can see, Gurley's a Pro Bowl player.
Now, Gurley was on the trade block right before the Super Bowl. Actually, all last year was rumors of Gurley being on the block. Considering he lost his starting job, and it looked like you guys were trying to trade him, and it didn't seem like it worked out that way. And then with him having a few interviews and on Twitter complaining, saying he want y'all to just let him go, how did you settle him down and make him accept his role as splitting time in the backfield?
No one, and they're lying to you if they say, they're right. No one likes to share time. No one likes to share anything. When you're the guy, you're the guy. Todd Gurley is a rhythm back. Todd Gurley needs 15 to 25 carries a game to get in the lather before he can start really doing this thing. With Marshall, he needs one carry that could be 80 yards. With that element, it's just a different dynamic that it brings to the offense. And we just ultimately sat down with Todd and said, hey, listen, you're still going to get your money. You might not get the carries, but there's going to be a point in time when we need you. And I think the Bears game, or might have been the Carolina game, I think Marshall got hurt for a couple plays, and Gurley came in and finished the game, had over 100 yards, and he basically carried. And I think at that point he brought in that, this is bigger than me. My accolades, I'm still getting the same money, still need them, still a leader. So basically winning just cured that problem.
Now, after winning the Super Bowl and coming into this season, after your draft this year, how do you keep your team focused on going back to the Super Bowl?
Well, we keep our team focused, motivated internally with just the naysayers. We're reading a lot of the press clippings and a lot of the things that guys say around the league that haven't won anything, that haven't done anything, i.e. the Atlanta Falcons. By the way, they're the reason why they're even on Hard Knocks. We're the reason why. They asked us who else would we like to see, and we nominated them.
With that being said, you got Real Boom, who's on the pod show on Sunday nights, and we're not going to give you a sneak preview in this interview of him talking about Phelps and calling him a one-trick pony. Get the fuck back, calling him a one-trick pony. Is there anything you'd like to say to that, to respond to that?
All I would say is to a guy who was, how many games did he win last year?
2 games.
2. When he can win his division and get to the postseason and then make it to the championship game to see us there, then we'll take them serious.
All right.
Until then, he could talk, the talk and banter. He could be all, these guys. He wants publicity. Mm-hmm. And you know what? He's thirsting. We gave him that publicity. Let's see what he does with it.
Right. And there you have it right now. That's the interview with King Falk, the coach for the Los Angeles Rams. Our next interview, we'll be talking to the GM. There you have it. We're signing off right now. This is Hard Knocks, the interview with King Falk and the LA Rams Super Bowl champions. All right, holla at you, Falk.